We've all heard of the luxurious fashion brand Balenciaga, owned by the French billion-dollar corporation Kering, who also runs other brands like Gucci and Saint Laurent. Though, it's possible that you might know about Balenciaga for something else entirely. Recently, a controversy has taken the internet and social media by storm, and it's more serious and bigger than just one brand. It is questioning the entire modern fashion industry. Are we really witnessing the elites being exposed, or is this just another tinfoil hat conspiracy, the way most conspiracies are? In a world of cancel culture and false accusations, we may have become too desensitized to things like these, and it's impossible that you might not realize the seriousness of these accusations against Balenciaga at first, especially if you are not a customer of Balenciaga or you haven't heard of them before. Perhaps you'll dismiss it in your mind as something that's just happening over there, but we'll explain to you why this is something that everyone should be highly concerned about, to say the least. In this video, we'll be covering over everything that you need to know about the recent Balenciaga scandal. Let's get into it. A quick disclaimer before we dive in. Although the narrative might make it seem like we're against Balenciaga and jumping on the cancel culture bandwagon, that isn't the case. However, we're also strictly against any and all sorts of child exploitation and believe that it should be punishable to the highest degree. With that said, let's dive straight in. Balenciaga is under fire for two of their most recent ad campaigns that appear to be endorsing child exploitations and CP. One campaign featured images of children holding bags that looked like teddy bears wearing bondage harnesses. The children were also photographed lying down, surrounded by other inappropriate items such as bottles of wine that just gives off an awful look. Now, I'm not a prude, but these things are just too much for children to be around. The second campaign featured images of a document that has been reported to be a Supreme Court ruling about CP laws. Both of these campaigns has caused utter outrage among people, spreading over the internet like wildfire. Let's start by focusing on the events that surround the first ad campaign, called the Holiday Ad Campaign, the one with pictures of children holding the teddy bears. The events began on November 16, 2022, when Balenciaga published a campaign called the Balenciaga Gift Shop. The photo shoot was done by an Italian photographer, Gabriele Galimberti, whose work focuses mainly on children. Galimberti's signature style included taking pictures of children surrounded by their toys laid out on the floor. Now, why does that matter? Well, for the photographs that he took for Balenciaga's campaign, it had a strikingly similar style. The children were standing up, clutching BDSM teddy bear handbags that were first seen in the brand's 2023 spring runway show in Paris. The bear handbags had black eyes, fishnet tops and leather harnesses, which are some of the key accessories worn for a BDSM look. Wine glasses and other gift items were also displayed around them. Other pictures also depicted children lying down with these teddy bears. On its own, there's no denying that this is really a straight-up PR disaster. Galimberti denied his involvement in selecting the props for the shoot, claiming that all of the objects and the children had all been selected by Balenciaga, with numerous staff members present on the day of the shoot. But unfortunately, it gets worse for Galimberti, as he also made a tweet on July 31st openly questioning CP laws. Previously, on November 3rd, Balenciaga released another campaign called the 2023 Gordet Robe Advertising Campaign. The ads featured images of its newest handbag, which looks pretty innocent at first, but the internet was quick enough to identify the piece of documents lying underneath the bag. Specifically, it included text from the Supreme Court ruling about the Ashcroft v. Free Speech Coalition CP case. In another image, which featured the actress Isabel Huppert, two books can be seen in the background, and one of its authors is Michael Borman's. Borman's most famous work, Fire from the Sun, has featured images of nude children and adults engaging in violent acts such as cannibalism. By now, it's pretty clear the theme of these two Balenciaga campaigns, and it's not far-fetched to think that this isn't exactly a conspiracy theory. You could argue that creative artists are prone to going overboard and not caring about how the general public would react to the images. You could also argue that it is possible the Balenciaga team missed the hard-to-spot documents and books in the backgrounds. It's possible that they could have missed it. Still shouldn't have happened though, but it may help to comprehend how the images were released in the first place. But on the other hand, Balenciaga is a multi-billion-dollar company. A brand as big as Balenciaga with so much press coverage, it's hard to believe that any part of their ads weren't intentional. They also have all of the resources necessary to deeply analyze all of their marketing content in order to prevent such incidents from happening in the first place. Soon after the holiday ad campaign images were released, people started sharing how disturbed they felt by the images of children lying down with BDSM teddy bears. people started to question Balenciaga and also went back to find details in their previous campaign photos related to child exploitation and CP. A few days after, everyone was publicly questioning and even boycotting Balenciaga. YouTubers, TikTokers, and even news media outlets such as Fox News reported on this controversy and allegations that Balenciaga was condoning child exploitation. People even started to post videos of themselves setting fire, throwing away, and even cutting up their Balenciaga items. So, how exactly did Balenciaga respond to all of this mess that they created? The brand's first response came on November 24th. In a social media post, Balenciaga apologized for the campaign and promised to remove all of the advertisement material from its social media. The Instagram post read, "We sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bags should not have been featured with children in this campaign. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms." The brand later removed all of the images related to the campaign, but that wasn't enough to calm the public outrage. Balenciaga also responded to the earlier garderobe campaign in a separate post a few hours later, which read, "We apologize for displaying unsettling documents in our campaign." The statement said, "We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our Spring 23 campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being." Surprisingly, a parent of one of the child models also released a statement saying that they had a fantastic time at Balenciaga and the images were taken out of proportion. The parent of the child also claimed that the photographer Gabrielle Galimberti was also innocent of any wrongdoing. Whether the parent's statement was out of goodwill or coercion is still up for debate. Balenciaga later filed a case against the production company North 6 and Nicolas Desjardins, who were responsible for setting up the garderobe campaign photo shoot on November 25th. North 6 was previously employed by Balenciaga for setting up their other campaigns as well. The notice alleged that the company North 6 and the designer Nicolas Desjardins engaged in inexplicable acts and omissions that were malevolent or, at the very least, extortionarily reckless. The brand also stated that members of the public, including the news media, have falsely and horrifically associated Balenciaga with the repulsive and deeply disturbing subject of the court decision. As a result, Balenciaga held the defendants accountable for all harm that came from this false accusation, which includes a monetary value of no less than $25 million. While North 6 declined to comment on the situation when interviewed by the New York Times, Gabrielle Moussaieff, however, gave a statement which read, "There certainly was no malevolent scheme going on." She claimed that the Balenciaga representatives were on set during the shoot overseeing everything while handling papers and other props. She claimed that Balenciaga also worked on edits of every shot and that her client, as a set designer, was not responsible for any selection of the images from the shoot. If that is true, it becomes even harder to accept the theory that Balenciaga somehow overlooked the unintentional theme of the photographs. But where exactly did the props, especially the document in the garderobe campaign photoshoot, came from? Well, according to Gabrielle Moussaieff, those props came from numerous boxes rented from a prop house. After days of criticism from fans for not speaking on the Balenciaga controversy, Kim Kardashian, who is also the brand's ambassador, made a statement on her Instagram page on 27th of November, which read, "I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could have happened." She continued in another post, "As a mother of 4, I have been shaken by the disturbing images. The safety of children must be held with the highest regard, and any attempts to normalize child abuse of any kind should have no place in our society, period." Whether or not this was enough to address the entire controversy that you'd expect from the brand's ambassador, we'll leave this up to you to decide. Other models like Bella Hadid, who appeared in the garderobe campaign, also responded by deleting all of the relevant images from her Instagram. While it is clear that the photographer Gabrielle Galimberti had little to no involvement in the mess, that still wasn't enough to stop people from sending hate mail and death threats to him. Gabrielle stated that his jobs were cancelled and even his personal phone number was made publicly available online due to the controversy. In a statement, Mr. Galimberti said, "At the moment, nobody wants to be associated with my name because my name is associated with the word pedophilia everywhere." He continued, "I've been working on my personal projects for 25 years, and then everything is destroyed by this campaign. I'm not sleeping well. My family's completely worried." that is everything that has happened relating to the recent Balenciaga controversy. So what happens now? Well, we really doubt that there would be any major changes moving forward. As of now, the products related to the campaign have been removed from Balenciaga's website, and that's probably it. As for the lawsuit, the company later announced on December 2nd, a week after the initial court filing, that it wouldn't be taking any sort of legal action. We've given you a pretty good outlook on the whole situation for you to form your own opinions. Going back to the question that we asked in the beginning of this video, do you really think that this is the end of Balenciaga, or is this just another one big conspiracy? We'll leave that up to you to decide. Let us know down below in the comments your thoughts and opinions on this whole situation. If you liked the video, why not like and subscribe? It's sure to help the channel. As always, you've all been fantastic. Goodbye.